The Indominus Rex 2.0, a nigh unkillable demon of plague and carnage. This megatheropod is a challenge for any geneticist to take down. But I, Abnormal Iguana, believe I have concocted the perfect creature to destroy this menace and rid it from the earth. I present the Kratotuarus. The Kratotuarus is a concoction of many different creatures, such as the Carnotaurus as a base genome, the Indoraptor as a major modifier. Specifically, the Indoraptor brings armor, its ability to jump, speed, intelligence, and gives long arms to the ball and socket joint already found in the Carnotaurus. The Desmatasuchus forms spikes and armor that further protect the Kratotaurus' spine and flank, further bolstered by the Spicomelus, which further bolsters protection from the flanks. The Quincana, the terrestrial crocodile, and the Komodo dragon are also added, as this increases congruency with being a quadrupedal carnivore, scale thickness, and immune response, but along with the Komodo dragon's venomous bite. The axolotl further adds congruency with the quadrupedal carnivore. It also bolsters the Kratotaurus' ability to regenerate. Although it won't be nearly as fast or as extensive as the axolotls, it'll be much better than a regular dinosaur's. The shrew is again added, as not only do we want iron-coated teeth for the Kratotaurus, but we are going to take the genes that allow the teeth to be sequestered with iron and apply them to the spines of the Kratotaurus, so that the spines are more durable and they are sharper. Lastly, we add the cuttlefish. The cuttlefish will further buffer the Kratotaurus' intelligence, but also give it the ability to change its color. Although this will likely be used more in emotional expression with other Kratotaurus, or intimidation, color change can be a very useful skill and ability for our hybrid. All of these create a hybrid that stands around 8 feet at the shoulder when quadrupedal, weighs about 2.5 tons, and can run well over 30 miles an hour. The Kratotaurus relies on hit-and-run tactics, along with its bolstered spines that make it nearly impossible to grab without first impaling the Indominus Rex 2.0's fingers or hands on it. However, there is one issue with the Kratotaurus. It is much too small and much too weak to kill an Indominus Rex 2.0 in a head-to-head conflict. A hunt resulting in the death of the Indominus Rex 2.0 will have to take place over several days or maybe even weeks. This is an issue with being able to win in Goji Center's competition, because their conflict takes place in a small, flat area, nowhere for the Kratotaurus to run. However, that's not really a war, is it? That's more of a wrestling match. If this was an actual war, the Kratotaurus would beat out the Indominus 2.0 by A. Eating its young, B. Exploiting the other species on Isla Nublar by killing and consuming them before the Indominus can, and being able to haze, harass, and whittle down over time an adult Indominus 2.0. The Kratotaurus wins via death by 1,000 cuts, but only in a realistic scenario, as even with the other hybrids that are specifically designed to overpower the Indominus Rex 2.0, they would never face each other in a small, flat field. They would rely on ambushes and tactical advantages such as cover or weather. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding in the assignment that Goji Center created. This isn't a war. This is a power scaling match. So in an actual realistic scenario, the Kratotaurus hunts down every last Indominus Rex 2.0 and rid the island of any other hazardous species. All right, and that's mainly all I wanted to say about the hybrid itself. The rest of this video will be a sort of making of video and overall talking about the hybrid war. First of all, as I'd like to add, I know I just said that the Goji Center's hybrid war is essentially a power scaling wrestling match, and I maintain that, although I do respect them as a creator. And I think what they've done for the Jurassic Park community is amazing. Um, it's just a maybe don't label it a war if it's really just taking place on half a football field and there's no real determining factor outside of power scaling in terms of for who wins. But yeah, and I had a lot of fun making the original Kratotuarus video. I'm doing this remake video as the audio balancing sucked, and I feel like I explained the Kratotaurus's abilities better in this one and quicker. As for the hand drawn art of the Kratotaurus, the size is a little inconsistent. In this image of it facing off against the Indominus 2.0, that's pretty accurate as to what I wanted. But in these other ones, it's either towering over the rest of these hybrids, which are from Jurassic World the game, or it's like tiny compared to the Spinotaur raptor. And so for these size inconsistencies, that's the only real issue with these pieces of art. Although I am happy with what I've done with them, and I'm glad I got to participate in this space. Um, Here's a couple new images I made for this video of the Kratotaurus. And next, I want to talk about some cut hybrids. They were either designs I had before the Kratotaurus, or they were some additional hybrids that were going to be used in other videos, and I just never got around to making them. First is the Nothropithecus. It's Nothronicus, Dinopithecus, and a gorilla all combined together. With the two primates, giving it a more rounded head and a bigger brain, and the joint flexibility of the shoulders. This hybrid would struggle against really anything that it doesn't have significant size advantage over, and it would rely heavily on groups. But overall, I think this is an interesting idea, at least. I don't have a name for it yet. In the editing process, if I come up with one, I'll drop it now. Macrochelosuchus. It's a Edmontosaurus that's been tricked out with saltwater crocodile and snapping turtle, alligator snapping turtle genes. And then for congruency, we added grizzly bear and also Ankylosaurus just to reinforce the armor. We decided not to give it a tail club so its tail would still be flexible because we were kind of envisioning this could be like an island hopping animal. And that's also why we put in grizzly bear, as although I like to think that hadrosaurs may have used their beaks to bite animals while they would fight, kind of like how donkeys do. There's no way to confirm that. And a grizzly bear, it fights with its teeth and its claws, so that just ties snapping turtle and the hooves of the Edmontosaurus all together. This third hybrid is arguably the weakest, and it's Sonara Titan. It's Argentinosaurus, Dreadnoughtus, Patagotitan, and Alamosaurus all put together. And then it has Parasaurolophus, sperm whale, and crow. We just put every big dinosaur. But I mean, me and my friend designed most of these scrapped hybrids, by the way. So shout out to bro. He knows who he is, and I told him I was going to mention him in this video. And so essentially, we just want to make a big creature that could be loud. And I added crow because I thought maybe it could use tools, like it could grab a tree with its beak and smash it over the head of the Indom 2.0. But that's kind of ridiculous. And size doesn't mean it's going to be inherently louder. Like I was envisioning something that could like split an Indom's ears, or like give it a concussion with sound, but that's kind of unrealistic. Although this thing would definitely be loud, just not that loud. And then this next hybrid, it was never for the hybrid war. We just thought it'd be cool. It's the Spinocaraptor. It's a Spinoraptor and Carnoraptor combined, and it's yeah. I came with this when I was 14. I don't know if you could tell. So well before the hybrid war. I just kind of decided to draw it today while making this video. So that's my Redux of the hybrid war video. Goji Center just announced they're doing an aquatic hybrid war. I'll try to properly participate in that along with making a video. Goji Center, if you ever see this, no disrespect, but I don't think you should call something a war if it's just taking place in a 50 by 50 square patch of grass. Yeah, anyways, I'll probably also do a power scaling video because I have some thoughts about that. And overall, I think the hybrid war has been very good for the community. Also, unknowingly, if you see this, we love you. I'm so happy you're all right. Remember, each of you are valuable, and I'm so lucky to have all of you guys as viewers or subscribers. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.